it's kind of a tale two cities. There's something that we invested some time, maybe too much time, in some defense we didn't frankly get a chance to use much. Conversely, there were some things that we spent a lot of time on that we got exactly what we were expecting, and we weren't effective. That's the frustrating part of that. If you can, when the part of it you nail, you're never going to get it all right in terms of your anticipation. But to their credit, again, we were able to manage to get our numbers straight, and when we get our numbers and leverage right, then you still got to get Bub on the ground, and he's something now. And I think we talked about the lack of swarm, but again, go back to give your opponents some credit. We felt like we matched up a little bit better with some of those tight ends and stuff physically one-on-one, and we just didn't. Give those guys credit. We had a heck of a time getting off a block and bonusing ourselves, so that one guy that you're trying to plus the play with is not on an island trying to get a really good back down in space. We control the space. You get some extra arms on that guy. You get some people misdirected, and that was hard. They kind of ran the ball exactly where the play was designed to hit, and they're the ones that make you want to just jump out of the boxes when you got enough guys there, but they're not misleveraged. We got two guys getting blocked by one guy, and that's the stuff that makes you crazy. But it tells you how fine an edge you're on. If you can be exactly right, and as Julian was saying, you got to be an expert tackler. Then you can maybe take a little bit of the air out of that. But like I say, you said, could I do anything better? Yeah, we could invest our time differently, anticipate them better. But as I say, the frustrating part is, and the thing that you want to give them a lot of credit for, is the part that we absolutely nailed. They were still able to be effective doing it.
What were you working on earlier this week? Was it more the defense with the two down climbing, or what kind of defense were you investing too much time in this week? What kind of?
Just when they were in I backs with 3 tight ends in the game and no wide receivers, and they were just going to come out there and waller us. And they and that limited us a little bit when they had us. They kept the receiver on the field. So we didn't see as much. Now we extrapolated some of that in there, and that helped us a little bit. But as the game wore on, as I say, the challenge is when the numbers looked pretty good to us, and then we stopped screwing up the leverage. It was still, wait a minute, he still got 6 yards. How did that happen? And again, there's a combination of a bunch of guys, coming off the ball, playing with a lot of confidence. Ball carrier, obviously, he was running downhill. We got to get across the line of scrimmage a little bit. There's always some things you can do, and they'd run some counter. They had not been they've been more power than counter, but a lot more 2-back stuff. The 1-back stuff, 1-back counter stuff was. It just, as I say, it's frustrating because that part of it we anticipated, I think, pretty well. We had a good play, and just give them credit.
Coach, what was the situation with Angel Santiago coming out? Was he hurt in the first half?
A little bit. I don't think it's too bad.
How did you feel in setting up the plays for Kelvin White in the second half? He was passing quite a bit.
Well, that's Kelvin's long suit. The situation the game called for it, and that's Kelvin can run the option. Kelvin's a good runner in his own right, but the thing that's different about him is his arm strength and his vision, and that's his long suit.
What was your feeling about how the way the week went with the uncertainty for some point? Did you think about it at all?
I really don't think that's a non-issue. We anticipated playing throughout. That's one thing. At West Point, the guys are too busy to spend a bunch of time around the water cooler talking about what might happen this weekend. They have their heads down doing what cadets do all week long, and when we got them on the football field, they practiced very well. It was, the preparation was fine. That was not
just a typical week.
Yeah, it was very typical.
Coach, what did you say to the players after the game?
Well, I just said there's a lot of good stuff out there, guys, but we're going to have to find a way to get where we want to go as a football team. We've got to be able to go out and beat a good football team, like a Boston College. And there's some of the answers are on the field on Saturday. Or on today. Some of those answers are out there, but some of those answers we have to find. We have to find them as coaches. We have to find them as players. We have to find them in every phase of the game. Today we feel better about ourselves offensively, especially in the first half, and we're sore as heck with ourselves defensively because we allowed somebody to come out there and manhandle us. The special teams, we need to get that thing to where it's positive. Right now, we're having a hard time covering kicks, and we got to. Part of the challenge is we're covering kicks against good football teams with the same people we're trying to play defense with, and we're finding we've got to find a way to get more out of our guys in those situations, because that's not they're related. You know, covering a lot of ground and getting people down in space. That's as fundamental to the game as anything we do.
Look like Tom Holloway hurt his left knee coming off the field late.
No, his knee's fine. It's just one of those mysterious high ankles or something. But he's
Okay.
He'll be okay. We're a little bit nicked up, obviously, but a lot of people are nicked up this time of year. You know, this is you play 6 physical football games, in a row that you're going to have some bangs and bruises. But the good news is we're starting to get some guys back too. So we'll have some guys biting at the bit to get an opportunity to play this week that maybe haven't had a chance, and that'll be an adventure for both them and us.
Will Santiago be okay next week? Or?
Yeah, to be determined. I don't know.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.